Hello APA students, we're glad to see you again. We are on video number 3 and we are going to be talking about tendus today. So tendus, probably one of the most important steps that we do at the bar also, and we're going to break down what tendu is. Hey Owen, what does tendu mean?
To stretch.
Say it nice and loud.
To stretch.
To stretch, okay. So it means to stretch, and we'll talk about what you're stretching exactly. So here we go, facing the camera, Owen. We're in first position, and we're talking about stretching the leg, which is really going to start from way up here in the muscles of the back and the side, all the way down through the tips of the toes. And we want a two-way stretch. So we want a stretch that feels like it's pulling our leg long, as well as it's pulling our leg back up into our body. So pulling our leg away from our body and pulling our leg back into our body. So two-directional stretch, okay? So he's going to tendu his foot out to the front, and he's going to really pull up in his core, and he's going to stretch his leg really hard. And his muscles should be really active at that moment, so all the muscles should be tight, all the way down the leg, all the way through the toes, all the way up through the sides, into his stomach, into his back, right? And go ahead and close. Now in a tendu, we don't lift the leg off the ground, do we? So in a tendu, it stays touching the ground. We say it stays en terre, which is on the ground. Okay, let's tendu out to the side. Some things you want to think about. Really activating that core, because there has to be something to pull against. And if your core isn't active, then you don't have anything to stretch against. And then you're going to really stretch down tight, all the way down to the very tips of your toes. There's no weight on the toes. I'm kind of hiding under the bar there. There's no weight on the toes, so you don't want to press any weight into the toes. And you don't want to push down on that big toe especially. It wants to stay nice and long and just barely touching the ground, like there's a little ant or something that's able to sit underneath of it, and you're not smushing it to death or something, right? It's actively touching the ground. You can do a lot of things to get to a tendu, but we're going to do it by brushing out to the tendu. Ready? So brush out to the tendu. Brush out and in. Try the other leg. Brush out and in. Switch legs. Brush out and in, brushing out and in. So, some basic things to practice while you're at home is working on these tendus, really stretching that leg really long, right? And rotating, which that's going to be another video when we talk about how to turn out. Okay? So thank you for joining us today, and we hope that you have fun practicing your
Relays.
No,
I meant tendus.
tendus, that's right. We'll see you next time. Thanks.